And now look at what's going on in Israel's parliament. No, we won't focus on the judicial overhaul today. Instead, there's another problematic bill which has passed. It's been called a sexual terrorism law. This new bill says crimes like sexual harassment or rape should consider the motivation of the attacker. If the attacker is driven by terrorist, nationalist, or racist motivations, the crime will attract close to the maximum sentence. The maximum sentence itself will be doubled in some of these cases, and so will the compensation awarded to the victims. Now, on the face of it, it looks like Israel is cracking down on sexual violence, but critics say this law is not going to target every offender equally. It has specifically been made to go after Palestinians. Here's a report.
Israel's parliament, the Knesset, just passed a bill to get tougher on sexual violence. It was a bipartisan effort. The ruling right-wing coalition and even opposition parties came together to pass this. It's being called a sexual terrorism law, and some of its provisions are contentious. The law doubles compensation fines for sexual harassment. Penalties for sexual assault convictions can be doubled from the current maximum sentencing limit. Government officials must report the number of sexual terrorism cases to Parliament, and the police have to follow up on investigations. If this was all, then Israel would have been commended on taking a hard stance against sexual violence. But that isn't the case, because these tough new measures come with a disclaimer. They are only applicable in cases where the offender had terrorist, nationalist, or racist motivations. Look at the words again: terrorist, nationalist, or racist. In Israel, who do you think can be considered a terrorist, or a nationalist, or racist? Do you think these terms commonly apply to Jewish people, or are they exclusively used to describe Palestinians? That's the criticism of these new laws. They only target crimes by certain groups. They cannot be applied to everyone in Israel. Even when the law was being proposed, there was no effort to hide this. The parliamentarian who introduced it said it would provide for the proper and correct treatment to female Jewish victims. That statement is incorrect, because the new law does not protect Jewish women better from crimes by Jewish men, since Jewish men cannot be proved to have a terrorist, nationalist, or racist motivation while committing an offense. So how is that proper and correct treatment to female Jewish victims? Because the law does not treat the abusers equally. It just punishes Palestinian perpetrators more. But why? Aren't all cases of sexual assault and harassment heinous? Don't all perpetrators deserve the harshest punishments? Then why does this new Israeli law let Jewish Israelis get away with lighter punishment? Because their intention wasn't racist? You cannot have crimes being committed or ranked on the basis of who commits them. The Association of Rape Crisis Centers in Israel has come out against this law. It's a body that provides support for sexual assault victims. It says it has no data of rape being used as a form of terror. And it says the new law is dangerous for creating a form of rating system for sexual assaults. Sexual assault is sexual assault, irrespective of the perpetrator's race or intention. Aida Tuma Sliman is a member of Israel's parliament who voted against the law. She summed it up in a simple tweet: "Do not punish according to hierarchies and classifications. Rape is rape and harassment is harassment. Don't promote racism on the backs of victims." A law that only applies to certain people in a country is a racist law. Critics have accused Israel of institutionalizing racism in the past. Israel has also been called an apartheid state by South Africa, a country who'd know a thing or two about it. Israel vehemently denies the charge. But laws like this new sexual terrorism bill certainly do not help its case.